Hey everyone, and welcome to your cryptocurrency review. I trust you're all doing absolutely splendid and marvelous. First and foremost, we're going to go look at Big Daddy Bitcoin himself, and today we're getting a little bit of a bounce on some cryptos out there, even though many of them are already pretty far below where they need to be. Bitcoin again is still holding relatively strong with the 100 simple on a weekly. Keep bringing up this chart, and the big takeaway is we still are making lower highs, right? So lower high, lower high, lower high, lower high, lower high, lower high, and we're just building a lot of pressure right now on Bitcoin. So the biggest question simply will be if and when we break out higher or break lower. Either one is entirely possible. If we do break lower, we'll pause here at least at the 100 for a little bit, but then potentially and most likely trade down a little bit lower into about the 3,000 area. And from there would be a really strong potential bounce. But at this particular juncture, I mean, the pressure is just building. We're trading sideways, and I still am accumulating Bitcoin for the long haul and just kind of see what she does from this particular moment. But the other altcoins, like Ethereum, here's ETH/USD. If I scroll down here, Ethereum having a little bit of an update today, but again, for the most part, getting pretty beat up. So this is the weekly time frame. There's your weekly. The good news, what I can say almost without question, is this is a nice hammer with volume, and very similar to this hammer, very similar to this candle. If we take out the low of this most recent hammer from last week, Ethereum will go into most likely double digits, which is pretty gnarly. Now, keep in mind, if you do have an exchange and you have the ability to short these on that exchange, you can make good money on the downside as well. But with this really nice inside candle right now, even though it is still early in the week by the time I'm recording this, it could pop, and I'm kind of hoping there's a good scenario for it because you did have really good volume on this day right here on the 6th of September, and then you had really good volume here on the 13th of September. So I'm kind of hoping maybe we get like an invert head and shoulders pattern and start to pop, and the bleeding calms down even if for a little bit. The good news is for my bulls, you still have the opportunity to make really quick moves on bullish pops, even through like here and some of these moves over here. Even on a downslope, if you're not shorting them, if you go into a small enough time frame, like an hour, 4 hour, or 15-minute chart, there are still boundless opportunities to be had. So here's your 15-minute, and if I zoom into this one, what we're seeing right now on a 15-minute chart is you're getting above the long-term moving averages. You had a nice little pop kind of late last night, early this recent morning. Here's your little pennant pattern. And we will see if this one starts getting some buying pressure. Hoping it does, obviously, fingers crossed. Always like to see a little bit of green out there come in. But longer term, I still think that this particular market is in an accumulation phase, very similar to the tech bubble, where you get just some massive sell-offs, some massive drops, and then some technology starts coming out, and you get some really just game-changing shifts and momentum changes over time. I don't know how long that's going to last. But 2020, 2021, since this market does trade every single day, 24 hours a day, we're going to get tons of data. But for right now, we're going to have a really strong brick wall at about this 350 mark. So if you are in a long position and we do trade back up into here, we probably will accumulate and chop around in a formation a lot like that. The coins that did have some good moves today are Ripple, and Stellar wasn't bad. So this is Stellar dollar on Bitfinex, and I'm a big Stellar fan. So Stellar having a good move, up 6%. So here's XLM, XBT. If you're buying your Stellar with Bitcoin, this is on Kraken Exchange. Again, up 4%. Here's what the weekly looks like. And the weekly, you're still holding strong on this particular crypto. And believe it or not, there are nice bases forming, good support. Right, got the 100 on a weekly coming up into here, got a lower high. So this triangle is building, and one would hope that on some of these coins we actually get a bullish breakout. That would be super exciting, but of course, only time will tell. The big one today, much to many surprises, is Ripple. XRP USD up 17% today, mostly because it was just so low. And this is coming in with good volume. I mean, you have 11 million being purchased today. So if you really zoom in, moves like this, at least recently, have been getting sold off. So very similar to this one, this one, this one, this one. So if you're looking at playing it, I don't think you've missed the move. You probably would look to get a dip and then, again, play these pretty quickly at these levels. Either your time frame is going to be very long term, like months to years, or super, super short term, hours to days, if you're playing these bullish. And that's really, I kind of think, the overall best perspective to take on many of these coins. If I turn the drawings back on, you can see a little bit of a channel here on Ripple USD. We'll probably be in this channel for a while, but that 37-cent mark will represent a pretty hellaciously strong resistance. And last but not least, here is EOS, US dollar. So if we go down here and pull it up on Kraken, EOS having a little bit of a nice day, kind of, sort of. Here's your exponential moving averages, and you can see below those on the weekly on the Kraken exchange. Here's the daily. And the daily, you did have some really good volume come in back here on the 13th of September with most of them. And if I really zoom out, you'll notice we are at a pretty decent support. So yeah, there are still some coins out there that are providing and showing you have some decent support levels, and there is still some interest out there. Big question just simply is, does that support get taken out? And my answer is yes. If Bitcoin drops, then we're going to continue to see some bears and some bloodshed out in this particular market, and then we'll just take it from there and kind of figure out what exactly happens and what transpires. But that's pretty much my thoughts on EOS, US dollar, and a lot of the other coins, big names, and big blockchains out there. Again, really nice pattern here on EOS. So the more we chop around, I mean, towards the holiday season last year is when cryptos went berserkers. Don't know if that's going to happen again. Most likely not, but some people are going to be going into their Thanksgiving and Christmas hangout sessions with their family and like, hey, so what about that Bitcoin? When's it going to come back? You're going to be hearing tons of comments like that. And I'm not saying that Bitcoin can't ever come back or won't or it will, but what I can say is long term or very, very short term. Those are the bullish positions. If you're taking any, those are the perspectives that I would have at this particular moment in time. Thanks so much for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed this review, and I will see you all later. And until then, remember, love life, live life, and trade it. Bye.